Hello, everyone. Please keep supporting Gene Valentino's Truth Podcast. We need our voice to get out there far and wide and help save our country.
Hi, friends. Gene Valentino. Are you tired of those cold sore outbreaks caused by the herpes virus? Discover Herplex, the natural homeopathic remedy that works with your body's immune system. Unfortunately, herpes is not curable. With Herplex, you can relieve symptoms that help prevent future outbreaks safely and effectively without the side effects of these traditional medications. Their patented formula helps your immune system produce more interferon, targeting the outbreaks at the source. Get back to feeling like your old self again. Visit buyherplex.com/Gene today and save 50%. 50% on your first order using discount code GENE50. That's GENE50. But hurry, this discount is exclusive to my listeners and won't last long. You have nothing to lose, as Herplex offers a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Let's conquer herpes together and do it naturally. Buy herplex.com/Gene.
Joining us now to discuss the partial government shutdown over DHS and ICE funding is public policy analyst Michael Busler, who's a professor of finance over at Stockton University, and political strategist Gene Valentino. He's host of the podcast Grassroots Truthcast. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. Michael, starting with you, it seems like Speaker Johnson is confident that he can get the 2-week extension done without any collaboration from the Democrats. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I certainly hope he's right. And actually, it's not 2 weeks. I think it only lasts till February 13th, which is really only 10 days. I'm not sure what'll happen between now and February 13th. It's good that we have the vast majority of the government funded, but DHS includes more than just border enforcement and ICE. It also includes FEMA. And with some of the bad weather we're having, particularly snows in much of the country, FEMA may be called in and they have to be funded. So I hope this passes today. I think the Republicans can only afford to lose one vote. It looks like no Democrats are going to vote for it. I hope it passes today, and I hope that they can come up with something by February 13th so we don't have any kind of another shutdown.
Yeah, important points in that it's not a full 2 weeks, as you point out, only to the 13th. And also that it's not just specific to ICE. It does affect FEMA and other really important services at what seems like a pretty crucial weather moment. Gene, your thoughts on if this will go through without Democratic collaboration today?
Well, the probability is higher that it will. And let's hope Mike Johnson's correct and things are as optimistic as he claims. The truth of the matter is, on a broader scale, this should not be such a partisan party line issue each and every year. The House of Representatives and the Senate need to take a stronger examination of themselves, not ICE and other peripheral matters, and take a hard look at how they're operating to complement what my co-guest just said. We shouldn't be in these stressful deliberations each and every year. We have so many more important things to deal with.
And Gene, staying with you on that topic, specific to what they're debating on, there are already some compromises here. Noam says she wants body cameras and she's just waiting for the money to clear, and then they're going to deploy them. And you heard the president say that the police prefer to have those body cameras. But in terms of removing masks and the judicial warrants, that seems like where the rubber will meet the road. What are your thoughts on what will happen? Not just today, because clearly they're just trying to keep the government open, but over the 10, not 14 days, as Mike pointed out. What do you think will happen?
No, isn't this funny? It's just a few years ago, and you talk about masks, it was supposedly some mandated protection we were going to receive from the COVID virus. Today, the word mask means hide the identity of the ICE agent. And why is that so? It's so because there's a threat against the ICE agent and his family. And why is that? It's because we are going into communities legally to extricate individuals legally and authorized to do so, to remove them from this nation legally because they have violated the law. And they just don't want retaliation or retribution against themselves or their families. Instead, the House of Representatives and related left-wing groups are trying to go after and intimidate the very people that are hurting this nation. And we need to stop this immediately. I pray that there's some legislation that comes along to penalize anybody, whether it's an elected official or other law enforcement agencies, from trying to stop a duly authorized group, ICE agents, in protecting this nation by getting these villains out of the country.
And I want to pivot over to you, Michael, from the economic perspective. Noam mentioned that the budget under scrutiny has the funding for the body cameras. So in a way, delaying the vote is preventing them from getting what they're asking for. But it seems like everybody's in agreement that body cameras are good, they need to be funded, and they need to be distributed for everybody's sake. But are there other economic aspects of this extension, that should be highlighted in your view?
Well, everything else has been resolved. The other issue that we haven't heard too much about, and I believe it's been resolved, was the extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies that were passed in 2021 and were set to expire at the end of 2025. The only purpose of that was during the pandemic, the unemployment rate shot up to almost 15%. And typically it's the lower income people that feel this more than everyone else. So Congress, being compassionate, said, look, we'll cover more of your health care payment than we do now, at least until everybody gets back on your feet. Well, back on your feet, they gave it till 2025. The unemployment rate, although it's inched up a little bit recently, is still at close to a full employment level. And considering the federal government is $38 trillion in debt and running up nearly $2 trillion per year deficit to add to that, government spending has got to be reduced. And every time they come up with a way to cut government spending, somebody has a problem with it. Well, one way to cut it is we don't need to extend these additional subsidies. So that was a big holdup last time. I'm not sure how it was resolved. The House agreed to a 3-year extension. The Senate, I believe, agreed to a 2-year extension. So I'm not sure how that finally got resolved. But overall, shutdowns are not good for the economy. We don't have the fourth quarter GDP number because the government shut down before. We don't have all the data. But when it comes in, I believe it will be very strong. The third quarter number was 4.3% growth. I think the fourth quarter could have been more than that. However, we don't know what the exact effects of the government shutdown were, and it could slow that down. Overall, we need the government to operate all the time. We need it to operate more efficiently and to stop spending money that they don't have. And we really have to take a stand on that. We can't kick the can down the road as we've done for the last 20 or 30 years. We have to address that now.
And you bring up a really interesting point that, for the longest government shutdown, healthcare was central to that, and then it just sort of faded into the ether, and people really aren't talking about it. But now there's this new emergency, and clearly what is happening in Minnesota is concerning to all people, maybe for different reasons, depending on what side of the aisle they're on. So, Gene, I'd love to get your thoughts on that there's a new theatrical thing that is preventing the government from having its normal functioning. And you had earlier alluded to, that Congress just needs to work more efficiently. So how do you understand what's taking place at this moment?
Let's start with term limits for congressmen, a constitutional amendment for balanced budgets, audits on specific agencies, starting with the Department of Defense. Michael's point a minute ago was perfect. We've kicked the can down the road for so long, we can't do it anymore. It's really coming to a point of no return. So we need a balanced budget with audits in place. Let's start with the Department of Defense, and we can easily balance the budget. All of a sudden, cameras for ICE agents become a non-issue. It's such a small item in the scheme of things. We really need to get our budget balanced. And this is where government activity or government behavior interferes with an economy. It interferes with the speed of incentives that go to industries and sectors that help stimulate jobs and growth. This is why we need to do it immediately. I think there's a direct relationship. The faster government steps away from spending, the opposite is true. We will see growth and prosperity accelerate geometrically, and therefore the paying down of that egregious debt that's accumulated over the decades.
Well, appreciate your insights there, Gene Valentino and Michael Busler as well. Thank you for joining us this morning, gentlemen.
My pleasure.
Take care.
Hi, friends. Gene Valentino. Are you tired of those cold sore outbreaks caused by the herpes virus? Discover Herplex, the natural homeopathic remedy that works with your body's immune system. Unfortunately, herpes is not curable. With Herplex, you can relieve symptoms that help prevent future outbreaks safely and effectively without the side effects of these traditional medications. Their patented formula helps your immune system produce more interferon, targeting the outbreaks at the source. Get back to feeling like your old self again. Visit buyherplex.com/Gene today and save 50%. 50% on your first order using discount code GENE50. That's Gene50. But hurry, this discount is exclusive to my listeners and won't last long. You have nothing to lose, as Herplex offers a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Let's conquer herpes together and do it naturally. Buy herplex.com/Gene.